Basics of statistics. Most people become familiar with probability and statistics through various media. You can't hardly turn on the radio, watch television, surf the internet, read newspapers or magazines without encountering some form of statistics. For example, the cost of raising a child from birth to age 17 is $233,610, not including college expenses. Americans own 42% of the guns in the world. There are 2.3 million Google searches per second. Motorists spend on average 17 hours per year searching for a parking space. Almost 80% of time spent on social media platforms happens on a mobile device. The median age of a person living in Georgia is 35.3 years based on the 2010 U.S. Census report. Statistics is used on almost all fields of human endeavor. Probably the most common is sports. A statistician may keep records of the number of yards a running back gains during the football game, or the number of hits a baseballer gets in a season, how many wins a person has, who was the fastest runner, who was the fastest swimmer. Education. A teacher might want to know if new teaching methods are better than old ones. Criminal justice. A researcher uses a statistical model to predict increased risk of crime. Public health. An administrator might be concerned with the number of residents in a particular area who contract a new strain of the flu virus. Quality control. A manager needs to determine if the bottle filling machine is working properly. Media. A weather person predicts the chance of precipitation on any given day. So why should we study statistics? We should study statistics so we are able to read and understand various statistical studies that are performed in our fields. This requires a knowledge of the vocabulary, symbols, concepts, and statistical procedures. You may also one day want to conduct research in your particular field. This requires an ability to design experiments, which involves data collection, analysis, and summary of data. And finally, so that you can become, and I can become, a better consumer and citizen. For most students, this will be their first true encounter with statistics. And at least initially, learning statistics is similar to learning a new language. Statistics uses vocabulary and concepts that are unique to the field. In this module, you'll be introduced to the statistics vocabulary, types of data, and sampling techniques. If we're going to spend the semester talking about statistics, we need to first know what is statistics. There are actually two definitions of statistics that we could find in the dictionary. The first definition says, statistics is the science of gathering, describing, and analyzing data. It's like the umbrella over the whole field of the science of gathering, describing, and analyzing data. Notice that we use the word is, implying that the term statistics is singular, so it's considered a group or a single unit. The second definition is statistics are the actual numerical descriptions of sample data. Again, notice here the word is are, which is plural, and so we're looking at the individual pieces or the individual numerical descriptions for sample data. We're going to focus on, for now, definition 1, the actual science of gathering the data and collecting it. There are two primary branches of statistics. The first one is called descriptive statistics, and this is the branch that most people are familiar with and have some knowledge about when they think about statistics. Descriptive statistics is the branch or the area of statistics that involves the collection, the organization, summarization, and presentation of the data. This is where We look at the information we have about our sample and we make no assumptions about it, no assumptions about the larger picture or the population. We use the data that we collect to create the pretty tables and graphs and numerical summaries that most people associate with statistics. Basically, with descriptive statistics, you're stating just the facts, nothing else. The second branch of statistics is inferential statistics. It's actually tied to the descriptive statistics branch because we use what we learn, the facts, to make inferences or generalized statements about the population, about the big picture. So we use what we learn from descriptive statistics to make inferences or statements about the population. In other words, we're interpreting the information about the sample and applying that to the population. This allows us to estimate the population parameters or the values associated with the large group. Throughout Module 1, at the end of this module, you should be able to demonstrate a knowledge of basic vocabulary of statistics, classify data by type and level of measurement, and identify simple basic sampling techniques.